Hi. Okay, so I wanted to make this video for Mommy to Little Boys 0308, and I'll tag you in it so that you can find it, or I'll, I don't know, comment or something and then tell you to watch it. I'm not sure. But I did want to go ahead and I want to kind of. I don't think that I can soothe your worries as far as the C-section goes because, to be honest, it is not enjoyable. But if you go into this experience knowing that when you come out, you're going to have two beautiful human beings that you worked so hard to make and to keep inside of your stomach, you will feel better. I strongly advise to, if you have time or if it is possible, this is one of them. Ha ha ha. I'm sorry, I just looked at her and I was like, oh, she looks so cute in the video. Aw. This is Sola. Anyway, she was baby B, and she actually ended up being 5 pounds and 7 ounces, and was great. They're very, very small. They're like literally little baby dolls, but they are very strong. So I would say drink lots of water within this few days because you're going to have to go through that 8 to 12 hour period where you don't eat or drink anything. That means don't eat or drink anything. Nothing goes in your mouth. Because if anything goes in your mouth, anesthesia will turn you away and you're going to have to be stuck with one more day with those babies inside you, and you know how uncomfortable you are right now. So it is not fun. I got really lucky and I hadn't eaten since like 8 in the morning, and then I went into my doctor's appointment and they told me that I could have the C-section that very day, which was a day earlier, and I was like, oh my god, and she was like, that means that you can't eat anything. And I was like, but I haven't eaten anything since 8:45. It is now 10:30. What am I supposed to do now? And she was like, you don't eat. So it was very, very difficult. I was extremely hungry and extremely thirsty by the end of it, and so will you be. No matter if it's 8 or 12 hours, it doesn't matter. You're going to be absolutely exhausted from that. Try not to get too anxious when you're sitting on the table, because that is when everything's going to set in. You're going to see all of the equipment around you, and all you're going to think about is, oh my gosh, I've seen ER, and I've seen all of these TV shows and videos and movies about this stuff, and I mean, they don't even use half of it, but it is very, very, very disconcerting, and just so, you've got so many people in there because you've got 2 babies. So there's going to be even more people in there, and there's people looking at you, and like you're just like, oh my god, go do something. The spinal, it is, how do I say this? It is not, it's not painful like I want to kill someone kind of painful, but it is very, very, very awkward. The nurse that I had wasn't very good. I mean, she was a good nurse, but she just didn't know how to handle my anxiety and my nerves. All she kept saying was, I don't even know what she kept saying because it didn't even work. So, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I had to literally try and calm myself, and I'm not very good at that. My mom knows how to calm me down, and Starla, which is another nurse there, which I didn't get to have in there, unfortunately, she knows how to calm me down, but as far as that woman goes, she did not do anything for my nerves and my anxiety, so I literally was having a panic attack inside of the C-section room, the operating room. And I think the craziest thing is when you first, well, for me anyway, when you first get rolled in on your gurney into the actual operating room, you've got so many people there, and you're just like looking around for your doctor. You're like, where's my doctor? Where's my doctor? Where's my doctor? And you see like the anesthesiologist, because they come in and they talk to you beforehand and they discuss everything that they're gonna do. And I had a pretty good anesthesiologist, I think. I mean, obviously, and I also have an allergic reaction to lidocaine, which is what they're going to use first before they give you the actual spinal. So I wasn't able to use lidocaine, but he used what's called benzocaine, which is what they use in the actual spinal. And I don't know what they're going to use for you, but that's the one that he always uses, and it works perfectly fine. I was so scared that the benzocaine wasn't going to work because I felt like it took forever for my um, the stuff to work. Like I felt like it took forever, but it probably didn't. I just felt like it did. Um, it is. I will warn you about a couple of things because that's what you really wanted me to do instead of babble on about here. But I will warn you about a couple of things. The first thing is you will feel a little bit heavy when you first get that spinal and it starts kicking in. You want to go ahead and switch on over as quick as you can to get on the table. Not because it's not an immediate thing, so don't think you're just going to go limp and not be able to move. And even if you went limp and wasn't able to move, there's always someone there that will very delicately help you to get to where you're supposed to be. Anyway, so I will warn you of that. You do feel a little heavy. I was numb from about, I would say, maybe like mid-ribs down. I don't know if that's because of my size or if that's where it was supposed to go, but they will poke and prod you, and they'll take like this long, it's not really long, it's like a wooden dowel, and it's got like a pointy end at the top, and they go, tell me until you can't feel the scratching anymore. So they start all the way up here and they go down, and then you're supposed to tell him when it's not scratchy anymore or where it is scratchy still. So if you don't like that, then that's what you feel. The feeling, I will warn you again, of a feeling that your legs will have. It literally feels like, have you ever slept on your arm before and then you have to literally pick it up to move it, and then once it starts getting it feeling back, it's tingling? Well, you don't have the tingles, you just have the dead. They're literally dead. You can't move them at all. You feel so helpless when you're lying there. So I will say that was a really disconcerting feeling for me. I hated it because I could feel the deadness of my legs, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Also, when they go to get the twins out, they're going to push really, really, really hard on your upper abdomen to push the babies and to get them out of wherever they are. Now, Sola was so far up in my ribs, it took a good 2 minutes to get her out. And it felt like someone literally breaking my ribs. I felt like someone was breaking them in half because they had to push so hard and so long to get her to come out. But when they get the twins out, especially the first one, you feel like literally your body will go like, because you can breathe again, and your organs are now not squished by a baby. And I will also say that another warning that I have is, after you get the C-section, make sure you get a belly binder, okay? Because if you do not get a belly binder, your innards will feel like they are falling out through your anus and vagina and your incision. Everything will feel like it's falling out. I'm not kidding. Everything is jumbly and blah, 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 because for 36 weeks, you have had 2 babies in here stretching and pulling and moving and tearing and moving your organs around. So it's going to take some time for your organs to actually go back to where they belong. And your abs are so stretched out that it'll be the same way. So just make sure that you get a belly binder and you wear it every day, and you make sure that you put it low enough to where it covers your entire incision and it doesn't come to where it bends, if you know what I mean. So just try and get a good nurse to do that for you, because you can't do it alone. Let's see. Getting your feeling back will be very difficult when you're actually in your recovery room that you'll be in. You're going to go to a recovery room for 2 hours, and you don't feel any pain or anything in there. But as soon as they move you to your actual room, where you're going to be staying for the next 3 or 4 days, I strongly suggest that you tell the nurse immediately, and I do mean immediately, when you start feeling pain, because I did not say I wanted my medicine immediately. And because I thought, what is this feeling? Because you're having so many different feelings. Just, if you start feeling anything that is not completely dead, because what you want is to not feel anything. Don't let yourself feel anything. If even for a second you think, oh, I think that hurt, but you're just still not quite sure because you're numb and you have babies and it's weird. If your babies don't have to go to the NICU, then they'll be with you. If they do have to go to the NICU, then you're still in the same position that you were in last time, and you still need to get into a pain management zone. They're going to give you morphine through your IV. It's actually got a D name, but it's a sister of morphine. Anyway, so ask for it. Say, I would like my IV meds, please, because I'm experiencing pain right now, and you do not need to experience any pain in that first 12 to 24 hour period at all. So, because if you do, you're going to feel the Pitocin that they give you, because they give you Pitocin as soon as you have the babies to help your uterus contract. And you're also going to feel the pain of the incision. So, because, yeah, your legs are still numb and you can't wiggle your toes yet, but you can still feel where they put that incision. And you can still feel everything else. Okay? So make sure that you tell them about your pain immediately. The first thing that's going to suck really, really bad is getting up out of bed. Make sure that you do it at least an hour after you've taken your painkillers, whatever they give you, whether they give you Percocet or hydrocodone. They probably will give you Percocet, which is an oxycodone medicine, which for me didn't work. It took the edge off. Like, how like when you're cramping really bad and you only have like one Midol a day or something, or like just a small amount of Tylenol or Advil or something, and then, but your cramps are still there and you're just, you're gross feeling. That's kind of what it did to me. I feel that it should have completely alleviated all my pain, and it didn't. For your first week, I think for a C-section, you need to be completely alleviated of all pain, 100%, because especially if you have twins. And I'm sorry to any of the other women out there that maybe, you had a singleton. I'm sure that, having a singleton is just as hard when you're having a C-section. It is, I'm sure it is, but it is not as hard as twins, because you've got two babies to get up and feed. Okay, if you're bottle feeding or something, now in your first 2 days, day to 2 days, you're not going to get up, but you'll probably have nurses that hand you your baby if you're breastfeeding, or if you want to feed them yourself, then feed them a bottle yourself, then that'll be what you have to do. But babies have to eat within the first hour that they are alive, and they're not going to eat a lot. They'll eat like maybe 10 milliliters to 20 milliliters, and that's how you're going to be from now on, talking about measurements forever and ever while they're bottle feeding until they get to ounces, and then you can talk in ounces. But for the first, I don't know even how long. I just know that this is almost 2 weeks and we're still talking in milliliters. So I would go ahead and say that you're going to be talking in milliliters for a while, because their tummies are so small. So yeah, those are the things that I have to tell you. Getting up and walking around will suck really bad. I had extremely strong abdominal muscles before I started this business, of having twins. I was a personal trainer, so it was not as difficult for me to walk around, because I had really strong muscles in the beginning, and I also continued to have them, and they didn't stretch. They stretched, but they didn't tear. And a lot of people, a lot of twin moms, they'll have tears of muscles, just because the babies, they tear, And I definitely have a lot of stretch marks in my skin. My dermis is kind of ruined now, but I definitely didn't have any in my actual muscle tissue. She's so sleepy. Anyway, well, I'm gonna go put this baby down, and I hope that this helped you. If you have any questions at all, about the entire process, if you haven't already gone through it by now, it says it's only a day ago, so you shouldn't be. You should still have them in you by the time you get to see this. But yeah, just go ahead and comment and ask questions, and I'll answer them for you. Thanks for asking, and I hope that if you go before your time, before your babies are scheduled, that you have a really awesome experience, and just know that this is the product. This is what you get afterwards, but it's just got to suck for a little while before you get them. Okay, bye.